Shalom Akim, Kahalayim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Ruach and double honors to the great most apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Thadiyah Yashah for the strength in order to make this video, and Yaratazar you find it edifying and also exhorting. This is really a reason why the Jake gotta be reset, man. Spiritually speaking, Jake gotta be reset. Of course, for those of you who haven't turned their eyes towards Yahweh Shem Yahshua and repented, seeking for mercy, seeking for forgiveness to Yahweh Shem Yahshua, and to leave their former idols, or their idols I should say, because they're still worshipping the idols right now. For those of you who are in disobedience towards Yahweh Shem Yahshua, there needs to go through the thinning. Now this is pretty much a video that shows it's just more evidence why Yahweh Shem Yahshua is about to do what he's about to do, aka in America, clear the whole place, which fire is a cleansing agent as well. It purifies the place. So I'm gonna read a precept, but this is the video from I got recommended this video on YouTube, so I decided, okay, let me watch this to see what's up. Because when you see certain thumbnails, especially when I saw Eve here, I think you could put two and two together and you know what's up. Now it says model Minority Reporter. I just recently found out about his channel, but it says when a functioning society meets fatigue, and as you can see here, it says black fatigue, which is when you're tired of something, and it's true. Jake and their demons, people are getting tired of that. These other nations are getting tired of it. Even Jake amongst Jake is getting tired of it. Imagine that. So yeah, Israelites getting tired of Israelites. So yeah, let me start off with Jeremiah 4 verse 22. Then I'm gonna get to this video. This is Jeremiah 4 and verse 22. It says, "For my people is foolish; they have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge." And yeah, foolish, sottish, they're stupid, they're not reasoning. Because if they actually had understanding, especially of these scriptures, they'll learn that, okay, it's better to obey Yahweh Shem Yahshua than to, of course, be in disobedience. Obviously, as the scriptures say, what does it say? Obedience is better than the sacrifice of fools. Let me try to get that one quickly, and then we'll get on to the next one. Hold on. Let me try this. Alright, I'll read this. This is Ecclesiastes 5:1. "Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Lord, house of the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil." So of course, as the old saying goes, 2 ears, 1 mouth, which means we should do more listening in order to learn and absorb the knowledge that we've been given from, of course, our teachers. And for those in the world entering into this truth, it's talking about the prophets as well, because the prophets are the mouthpiece of Yahweh and Yahushua. So it's better to be obedient and listen, learn, absorb, so that you can then apply it in your life, and then be teachers also, than to give the sacrifice of fools, where because of pride or whatever demon may be upon a person, they're not willing to listen. And of course, there have been several moments during camp where we've encountered individuals of which they're not willing. Some are willing to hear us out, whilst Jake themselves, they come with this this pride demon. They're not really willing to listen, and of course, they get offended as well. As Paul said, though I be rude in speech, not in knowledge. So of course, in spite of the harshness of speech, hold on, rude in speech, it doesn't mean that the information that's being relayed is of low value. That's the thing. It's like such as, of course, let's say, mining for precious metals. When you're mining for precious metals, obviously this is just a simplistic analogy. You'll have to go through a lot of dirt, a lot of digging, a lot of work in order to get to those precious metals. It's the same way, to get the potent knowledge, you would have to go through some kind of adversity, whether it be maybe physical in terms of traveling to the place, to see the prophets, or it could be a place where, you may not have enough time, but the knowledge there is actually potent. That could be a form of adversity. Another form of adversity is also just being patient, being able to tolerate the harshness of speech. That's all it is. So when you hear brothers say, fuck you, shit, crap, which all these words, which today are seen as so-called swear words, they're not swear words. The only swearing that shouldn't be done is when you say, on your life. You shouldn't be swearing on your life. You shouldn't be swearing on your mom's life. You shouldn't be swearing on your father's life. You shouldn't be swearing on anyone's life. You should even be swearing on the Most High. How much more the Most High? So all these terms, which these young ones, YNs as some may call them, or just young individuals, be saying, like mums in the UK, which I believe that's just short for saying, on your mum or whatever. All that is just swearing on your mum, swearing on your mum or some family individual, which, if you had understanding of the scriptures, if Jake had understanding of the scriptures, they wouldn't be saying that nonsense, because that's just foolishness to do that. And then you start wondering why certain things be happening. And I'm talking about judgment. Anyways, 2 Corinthians 11 and verse 6. But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge. But we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things. So of course, just because, a person may say F you or, shit, and words of which can be seen as aggressive, remember, they're not swear words just because the world calls it swear words. They're just a harsh manner of speech. That's all they are. They're just harsh words. And harsh words is not the same level as swearing, as I just explained. So anyways, let's get back to the video. Now, again, foolish. Let me read this again, then I'll get to the video. Jeremiah 4 and 22. In fact, in the NLT, so on the right side, my people are foolish and do not know me. Because if they knew Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which is, we get to know Yahweh Shem Yahushua more and more as we study these scriptures, because these are the words, these are the commands that He's given us in order to be able to apply, to live our lives, and of course to appease the will of Yahweh and Yahushua, which is like in this current day and age, is like fighting a flipping war right now, because you got the resistance from the world, because the wickedness is seen as a normality. But for us, appealing on righteousness, it's like we're pushing against that wickedness. It's like each brother is like a lighthouse, in a sea of darkness. That could be a perspective. So yeah, Jeremiah, and when I say each brother, I'm talking about those who serve Yahweh Shem Yahushua in sincerity and in truth, of course. Yahara Tazal, we are those men, Isaiah 10 and verse 20. I'm going to get that, but I want to get to the video. Let me finish this. Jeremiah 4 and 22. So again, those men are referring to Revelation 14 verse 2, and of course Isaiah 10 and verse 20, the remnant of Israel, which includes the 1/3, and of course the elect, 144,000, Revelation 14 and verse 2. So anyways, Jeremiah 4 and 22, my people are foolish and do not know me, says the Lord Yahweh. And when you see the L-O-R-D in the capitals, that means Yahweh. Of course, if you were to go to, I'm going to bring this out every now and then, but of course it should be, if you've seen it before, you've seen it before. But for those who are new, this is the Blue Letter Bible. Typically you can get into the root words, whether it be in the New Testament or the Old Testament. They go to the Hebrew root words. So here, Let's get to LORD. Hold on. Should be here. Yeah, I'm just scrolling too fast. Hold on, let me check this. Oh, okay, that's why, because the KJV don't have it. Hold on. But anyways, the point is when you let me just do this just for the sake of the example. When you have capital letters in Lord, hold on. Let's see. Alright, should be near the end. See, notice how the root word on the left here for the Lord is Jehovah. But again, if you go to the ancient Hebrew alphabet, which is the language of which was spoken by Israel, it would say Yahweh. Which again, 21 of the ancient Hebrew letters, which is total is 22 ancient Paleo Hebrew. Paleo just means ancient. Paleo Hebrew letters end in the sound ah. One of them ends in the sound I. So of course Yahushua has that I sound, which looks like a letter O in the English alphabet equivalent. So anyways, it should say Yahweh, but of course, considering the day and age we live in, this proves as well that the real name of the Lord, which is Yahweh, and the name Yahushua are very dreadful, deadly for the heathens. That's why they can't even put it here. So it's not Yehovah, it's Yahweh. Instead of the V, it's supposed to be W. Instead of the A, let me start from left to right. So instead of the whatever this letter is, Yehovah, instead of that upside down E, as you can see here. I thought I could zoom in, but I can't zoom in. Hold on. Just have to bear with me here. Actually, if I click this, alright, this is better. So yeah, Yehovah, it's not Yehovah, it should say, instead of the Y-E, the Ye sound, it's supposed to be Ya. And then Ho is Ha. And then Wa, that V is supposed to be Wa. So Yahweh. And of course a little connector on the end to remove that H, because every sound ba, ga, da, would have like a letter H, but that connector removes it. So anyways, Yaratazar probably in a later video. I have done it before, but every now and then I will reiterate it. So yeah, Yahweh, that's the point. It's not Jehovah. And as it says here, the existing one. He exists, he is to be. That's what Yahweh means. And all of this is just like a cover-up for his real name. So anyways, let's get back. Because this is, I want to get to the point of the video.
Hey, what's up, guys? So after years of being told we must ignore patterns and make excuses, a growing number of Americans are experiencing what's being called fatigue, the exhaustion of dealing with disruptive, antisocial behavior that a functioning society simply cannot sustain. Whether it's in restaurants, stores, airplanes, or public spaces, the same old clips show the same chaos. People acting entitled, violent, or completely detached from basic norms of civilized conduct. And this isn't about race, it's about culture and behavior. Because when large segments of any group refuse to follow basic rules of respect, order, and personal responsibility, the rest of society pays the price. Having said that, take a look at this first clip here of this man who's a street performer playing the piano and watch what happens to him.
Before you serve Search for the Natural Healing Handbook on Amazon. Please watch this. Hi, I'm...
So this woman decided to disrupt this guy's piano performance and proceeded to get yelled at by two other ladies. So she left but came back. And even decided to knock this guy's piano down. No, that wasn't enough. She also had to...
No, it's alright. It was all Eve. It was all so-called... It was all Southern tribe, the so-called black women. You just come in there. The guy's just, making a living, through his gifts that he's been given of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And then he's trying to earn a living there, and you're just here trying to disrupt him. It's like, what incentive do you have to just disrupt this guy's life? His way of living. Really, that's probably more of a pleasantry, because he ain't producing no niggerish music, because I couldn't think of anything else to say. But he ain't producing no niggerish music. He's playing on a piano, which can be quite pleasant to the ear as well. So nevertheless, man, demons are on our people, and it just proves another reason why. The Most High has to do this thinning, especially over there in America.
Her hand in his tip jar and actually steal his money. See, this is why stereotypes exist. Anyways, having said that, let's move on to the next clip here, which happened during the World Cup in the England-Norway match. And there's this popular, annoying streamer who's sitting behind a group of Englishmen. Now, mind you, these Englishmen probably spent a lot of money on airfare, accommodation, tickets, and probably took some time off work. But watch what they had to endure during this whole match.
No. Ah, you goofy ass nigga! You shooting at the other side of the world! Yeah, baby.
I saw another video of this guy as well. Well, another Jake making a video on this streamer, on him selling out, and all that, blondiness is a part of the humiliation ritual as well. So, of course, they did it to athletes, back in the day, really probably 2 decades ago onwards. Well, they've been doing it even since 80s, 90s and whatnot, since the entertainment industry was growing, in different forms in terms of film industry and whatnot. Right now, they're just the latest version of, selling out is with these streamers, because they know that this is the next generation of influence. Streamers who just record stuff live or so anyways, that's the point. The point is they've got streamers selling out, and this guy over here, he's got a demon on him, man. Anyways, let's see it again.
No. Ah, you goofy ass nigga! You shooting at the other side of the world! Yeah, baby. Yeah, no, y'all gonna hate me. Y'all gonna hate me.
Annoying ass Norwegian.
Y'all gonna hate me.
I feel like no matter where I sit in any stadium, I always get the most annoying person.
Yeah, I feel the goddamn same way.
This bloke is
I
annoying.
feel the same way.
Do you see what's on his head?
I feel the same way. Bro, that nigga just tripped over Casper.
Hey, bro, stop spitting on people when you talk.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Yo, Ballface been...
Spitting all over my fucking back.
Nah.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Stop spitting on me.
Yo, gang, the beer, this shit got you drunk as fuck, bro. You're bugging out.
Hey,
Nobody's
stop
spitting on you.
fucking
Stop talking to me, nigga. Stop talking to me. What? Yeah, I got big ass security. All my Jack Doherty shit. Fuck wrong with you. Nobody's spitting on you, nigga. Fuck you talking about?
Honestly, people like this should be banned from events, and anyone affected by their BS should be fully refunded.
It's just a nuisance, man. It's a nuisance because it's the lower level ones like this that give us a bad reputation. That's why, for those in the kingdom, it's gonna be clear. Now, of course, that's why we always have to say, Thawda Yahweh, Thawda Yahweh Shai, for the knowledge we've been given, the understanding we've been given, the wisdom we've been given, to be able to apply that knowledge and to live by it also. Well, to the best of our ability according to this flesh. Can't get perfect now, but we could do decently, as we say. But it's through the power and strength of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Before we will be able to perfectly appease Yahweh and Yahushai, we'll be in the new bodies. 2 Corinthians 15 verse 40 onwards. But anyways, the point is, in the kingdom, it'll be clear what spirits will be the governing body. That's 144,000 referred to in Revelation 14. And then the rest of the Israelites as well, of whom, how am I going to say this? Well, yeah, it's going to be the governing body, and of course the 1/3. We're talking about the multitude here. And then you're gonna have the the 2/3. This is really the point. The 2/3 are gonna be the lowest in terms of the rankings, but nevertheless they're still gonna be higher than the heathens. But of course there will be a difference in spirit concerning the remnant saved and the remnant who went through the second go around, which means being reborn. And that's gonna be a topic for another day in terms of being reborn, because that goes into reincarnation. But yeah, the point is that these lot gotta get cleaned out of here, man. Their spirit's gotta be reset. You know, just like a computer that has too many viruses and, you know, corrupted files. It's gotta go through a factory reset, especially a phone as well. You gotta reset to its factory settings, and it's clean. There's no bloatware. You know, which bloatware is just unnecessary software on the phone or on the computer. But yeah, this is it's a nuisance, man. It's a nuisance. That's why, you know, even heathens as well, you know, they be looking at Jake in another manner because of what they've experienced from the lower level ones like this, so-called YNs, you know, young niggas. Now let's continue.
These people are a cancer to society.
Which this video is just black fatigue anyways. It's just black fatigue. You know, this is just, the title is just a more a way of pleasantry, you know, in terms of just being a little bit more respectful. But it is just black fatigue, man. So-called black fatigue. They're the real so-called black ones, because of course they don't know themselves. And anyways, there's no person who's black, but that should be self-explanatory.
Also, this is a double whammy because first off, he's a streamer, and secondly, because which is a recipe for disaster in a public space or to society. Also, this is a double whammy because first off, he's a streamer, and secondly, because which is a recipe for disaster in a
I see what he did there. I didn't even realize. But yeah. Basically because he's so-called black.
Public space. Having said that, this idiot streamer, Blackboy Max, actually finds out very soon.
If he's gonna continue to spit on me,
Bro, nobody's spitting on you, bro. Nobody.
Like, what is this, man? What is this? I don't know what this is. It's like a sewing weave. Something going on there.
Spitting on you, bro.
it's
And anyways, the scriptures talk about a man having long hair. Not even to talk about flipping blonde hair as well. Anyways, man. Anyways, let's continue. The Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua has already got these guys on lock. Anyways, man. They're running their course up to their very end, and each one has a specific end customized for them.
No, excuse me, ma'am. Stop talking to me. Thank you. 5-star.
It's crazy how one person in a public space can annoy so many different groups of people.
Bro, yo, I had no issue with you. Why is he talking to me, bro?
you're here to try and wind people up, and you're doing a fucking good job.
No, I'm here to stream on Twitch and support Norway.
Just stop filming us.
But you know, as our elder over here, you know, Elder Laban, you know, Jake don't have no decorum, man. I know that's one word he always uses, decorum, which is really like how can I say? In fact, I might even just search the definition right now, but it's yeah. Let me just get the definition. Right, so decorum, as it says in the AI overview, says decorum refers to polite, dignified, and socially correct behavior, speech, and dress. It is the observance of proper etiquette, ensuring one's conduct is appropriate, calm, and respectful for a specific occasion or setting, I mean, yeah, of course, football stadium, you're gonna have all sorts of demons there and people shouting their heads off. But at least you gotta have some level of reasoning to respect the individuals in your surrounding. Can't just be blabbering your mouth and spitting on them. Like, come on. You gotta be more what's the phrase, man? Is it socially aware? I believe you're socially aware. You know, that type of individual, you know, what's his name? Plague Boy Max, whatever his streamer's name is. Plague Boy Max, something like that. The guy with the blonde hair. You know, he's there was a point that I was actually making, but then just left my mind. But yeah, he's not showing decorum really. He's not showing any decorum. Just shouting there, talking. Oh, that's the one, Thadio Shah. He's got a low level of emotional intelligence. That's when you know, okay, you know, let me not you can pretty much sense, you know, the people in your surroundings, and of course depending on how they feel disturbed, it's like, okay, you gotta calm down. You know, you gotta calm down because of the situation, so that you're not a nuisance in the environment that you're in. So anyways, they ain't got decorum, man. That's the point.
This is my seat. Why am I leaving? Oh, why am I leaving? Why am I leaving?
Man.
Why am I? This is my seat. Why am I leaving? Oh, why am I leaving? Why am I leaving?
Man.
Why am I leaving? Excuse me. Why am I leaving? This is my seat. Why am I leaving? What did I do? Man, all right, man, I don't give a fuck about the seat anyway. I'm not gonna
Let's actually take a look at what's inside one of these energy drinks. Starts off with carbonated water. You know, I get heckling, supporting your team, being very loud, but when you cross the line and start annoying every single person around you, that's where it ends. Anyways, glad to see that this idiot streamer was kicked out of the stadium, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't learned a single thing. So moving on to this next clip.
Yeah, exactly, man. Just, you know, let me get a scripture on that. Hold on. You know, as the guy in the video said, you know, he's probably not gonna learn from that incident. You know, getting kicked out of the stadium. So Ezekiel 2 and verse 4, for they are impudent children, stiff-hearted, and impudent meaning stubborn, as you can see on the right side here. And stiff-hearted, I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, the Most High. You know, so they're stiff-hearted, they're impudent, which means they're hard-headed and they're stubborn. You know, they ain't gonna listen. You try and give them advice, they ain't gonna listen. That's the point. The thing is, it's something that will help to improve themselves as well once they start applying it. But again, they ain't gonna listen, man. Right, so you know, kind of like Moses as well, when he was talking to the Most High, he said, you know, they're not going to listen to him. But the Most High then said, do these miracles, and then they're going to really hear you out. So if you remember from Exodus as well, you know, then 3 miracles. I believe one was putting his hand in his bosom, and he turned leprous. Of course, putting it back, he turned normal. The other one cast the staff on the floor. Of course, it turning to a serpent, a snake, and turning what's it called? I think it was turning water to blood as well. I believe that was one of them too. But that's the point. The point is that, you know, even Moses discerned that, you know, how are they gonna listen to me, you know, if I ain't got nothing to show and all that. But nevertheless, as it says here in Ezekiel 2 and verse 4, they're hard-headed. They're hard-headed.
Kicked out of the stadium, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't learned a single thing. So moving on to this next clip. This next one is of a black woman at a seafood restaurant, and watch what happens because this is pretty infuriating.
Hi, so you're banned from this restaurant?
Why?
Because you disputed the last 4 credit card charges when you came here.
Yep, and obviously seafoods, you can see the flipping detestability there, whether that be lobster or flipping crab. The point is, you ain't supposed to be eating that nonsense, man. These are detestable meats. That's the thing. So these things are quite easy to just remove, from, when you enter into this truth, you then realize, okay, you can't eat that. Yeah, just cut it off, because these are things of which we can do from what Yahweh Shem Yahshua has given us strength to do. That's in our so-called control. The reason why I say so-called, because of course we're just running programs from the Most High. But nevertheless, just for simplicity's sake, it's out of our control, man. Because we can decide, okay, we're not gonna eat this. We eat healthy foods and clean meats, not detestable meats.
Yeah, you didn't. Hi, so you're banned from this restaurant?
Why?
Because you disputed the last 4 credit card charges when you came here to eat. Yeah, you thought you wasn't gonna get caught? You thought you wasn't gonna get caught?
Really?
Yeah, really. You know what you were doing.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave now.
Yeah, get the fuck out. Now.
Okay, so this is pretty disgusting. Disputing credit card charges, and for what? To get free food? And to do that on 4 separate occasions at the same establishment? Also, if I'm that guy, I'm making sure I'm calling the cops, or at the very least, calling the credit card company and making sure those 4 charges stick. Because there's no way this woman is walking away scot-free. Having said that, this is what I mean by the total erosion of trust in society because of disgusting behavior like this. Anyways, moving on to the next clip. Watch this woman at a restaurant pretend to be an influencer to get free food and special treatment.
Excuse me, are you serving the tables outside? Because you just walked off. You don't know if I'm quality assurance or anybody. You don't know who I am.
Hey, I mean, you can talk to my manager if you
No, I'm asking you a question. Who's the manager here? Are you his manager? I don't know who this little young kid is, but he's very rude. And he did not ask me what I wanted to drink. He walked over and asked me if I was sat by the host. And I'm like, of course.
Excuse me, ma'am. Hi, how are you? My name's Phil. I'm the manager here.
You're the manager?
Yes.
I thought she was. But this guy right here came over to me. Instead of asking me what I want to drink, he was asking me, did I talk to the host and sit there? I'm like, of course I did. Why would I sit there without talking to the host? But he never once asked if I wanted something to drink. I've been down for 10 minutes now.
So, excuse me, ma'am. I just...
That is my...
This is the result of a very high level of entitlement, man. Problem when you got too much pride in your system, and Eve, or certain of Eve out there, are subject to this. Certain of these, it's not even just Southern tribe, Northern tribe as well. The Israelite women, that's what I'm talking about. Of whom they get too prideful, flipping, giving respect even to waiters and all that. When you're going outside, and again, you're just making yourself look like a nuisance. You got the Israelite man as well. I say Israelite man. But YNs, Israelite, men out there of whom, they're just making it look like, again, nuisance is just a word that just keeps coming up, man. Nuisance. Something of which, is very annoying. Like a flipping fly. Anyways.
No, I understand, but ma'am...
And now I'm coming inside to order at the bar because no one's taking my order.
Ma'am, I am very sorry. You did set yourself at the table so dirty.
No, they had to clean it because it was dirty. And so much information was out there.
Yes.
And I can't sit and I don't want to be involved with anyone else's paperwork, receipt, and the table was dirty. But I just sat down because I needed to sit down.
Was this woman actually seated there by the hostess, or did she just sit there? Because I'm starting to think it was the latter.
Long story short, I just want a drink, and that's what I came in for.
Okay.
Can I get my drink, please?
Sure thing, ma'am. I will get you a server.
I can just go to the bar and get it and take it back outside. Nobody has to serve me at all.
No, unfortunately, that's full service only. Ma'am, it's full service only outside.
Do not send me an outfit, please.
Ma'am.
Don't sound I don't like the word man. Please stop using it.
See, just getting triggered out of, oh my God. The guy just he's trying to be respectful. Now you're just asking for trouble.
Extremely rude now.
I'm being extremely rude when I walked through the door, I asked to sit here, and I was waiting to get the table clean, and now you're telling me I'm extremely
Yes,
rude?
you sat yourself.
Okay, so she sat herself. I knew it. So they told her to wait. She didn't listen and just found any random table.
Yes, you sat yourself.
Do you know I'm a very, very, very viral social media influencer?
See what I'm talking about when I said entitlement. A social media influencer. That's the thing, man. You know, in this age of, you know, social media and, you know, all these apps that allow one to share their lives, you know, with the world, and even private moments with the world, which ought not to be done, especially certain things that ought not to be shared. You know, it just gives this way to it's that training. It trains people to just harbor attention. You know, they always want us. You know, it's always about your so-called me. You know, that it's a problem, and it's also a demon as well. You know, it makes people too self-centered to the point where they become prideful, like this woman here, and then they're saying, "Oh, you should treat me, you know, in this certain manner of way." You know, as the scriptures say, pride was not made for man. Why is earth and ashes proud? In fact, I'll get that one, then I'll get to this. But you guys should already be able to discern what's going on here, man. This darn social media age. Alright, this is Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 9. It says, "Why is earth and ashes proud?" And as you know, we were made from the earth. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, for such an one setteth his own soul to sale, because while he liveth he casteth away his bowels. You know, while he lives, the integrity ain't there, man. You know, people be selling out just for flipping money, and of course that money inflates their pride as well. You know, that's why, you know, with money as well, of course, you know, if you ain't got humility to match that, you know, that would be a certain downfall for certain folks. And that's why when Solomon asked for wisdom, he got the money after. So yeah, actually, let me read this as well. Skipping on to verse 12. Ecclesiasticus 10 and 12. "The beginning of pride is when one departeth from the Most High, and his heart is turned away from his Maker. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination. And therefore the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashar brought upon them strange calamities, and overthrew them utterly." So those of whom are prideful, they don't give credit to Yahweh Bashim Yashar. You know, even you know, in the world, you know, those who have zeal, of course not according to knowledge, they say, you know, it's all for God's glory. You know, at least that one there, they're doing it. They're still showing humility to the Most High. You know, despite them not knowing the names, they're still doing it. You know, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, why is earth and ashes proud? And as it says here, the beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High, because it's like, come on. You were given these gifts to achieve whatever you've achieved in the world. You know, that's for those of whom strive for that corruptible crown. And also, whatever resources you've been blessed with, someone blessed you with it. And that someone, or I should say somebody, or this entity, is Yahweh. You know, the Most High. He's the one who ordained it, that, okay, this is the amount of resources that you're going to be blessed with. And of course, you thank him for it. But for those of whom are prideful now, it's like, oh, I did this. No, you didn't. You were given the strength to do it. Reason. You were given the strength. Because easily, he could put you in a position where you can't access those resources anymore. So that's why, you know, day to day, always got to pray for humility for ourselves first. And of course, for our brothers too. You know, so that our days will be longer, because of course, you know, it's through humility. In fact, hold on, just to get that one. I know sometimes it's like I'm going on a little tangent here. Humility, I believe the priest is in Psalms. Oh, okay, it's in Proverbs. So Proverbs 22 and 4, by humility Let me highlight it. Hold on. It says, by humility and the fear of the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, are riches, honor, and life. You know, riches can also, it doesn't just mean physical money. You know, it could even mean the riches of health. You know, the riches of the spirit in terms of wisdom and knowledge, you know, spiritual power. It could be, and obviously honor, you know, going into respect and life. Because, you know, when you, of course, obey Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you do your works to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You know, you remain humble, you fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, which is a motivator. You know, it's our drive as well. Because we ain't trying to get, just like a child who's been beaten before and corrected, you ain't trying to get that beating again. That's part of the fear. And the way the Most High beats us is in unique ways. I will say that. So the point is, pray for humility and for the fear of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And then you reward you in different ways. That could, because I was talking about, yeah, health as riches, faith also as riches as well. Honor, meaning respect, and of course life. So you could live longer just by being humble and fearing Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You know, that's it. And he also rewards you, he blesses you. You know, it could be with physical or spiritual riches. You know, but the point is to remain humble, whether you're lowly, you know, in a low state, or when you're in a high state. But Eve over there, that the Israelite woman there, she wasn't showing humility. Anyways, let's get back to the video.
Do you know I'm a very, very, very viral social media influencer?
If you were that viral, that you wouldn't need to say it. People of whom are actually famous, they don't need to say who they are. People just know them. Just from one glance, they know, okay, yep, this guy's that guy. You know, this woman is that woman. You know, for example, let's say if you know, Kanye West or, you know, Jay-Z or you know, Rihanna or Beyonce, you know, was to walk into this type of place, people would instantly recognize them. You know, and she's not at that level where, you know, people know. This is the thing with pride, man. You're just over-exaggerating, honestly.
And do you know that I was recording what your guy didn't do earlier? And do you know that I'm recording you right now? And do you know that I'm not satisfied in your restaurant? And do you know how many people are going to see this video right now?
Yes,
I don't want to have to go there. You don't care? Okay, fine.
All right, so
your face will be plastered all over Facebook.
She's trying to threaten him just because of, oh yeah, the whole internet is gonna see it. First of all, you're embarrassing yourself. People in the comments, if they got any sense of reasoning, they're gonna rebuke her. Her own comments, her own viewers are gonna rebuke her based on that.
For being the most disgusting, nastiest manager I've ever seen on the face of this earth.
Okay.
You're actually number 2. You're not maybe number 3.
Okay.
I won't give you number 1.
All right. Well,
because you know why? You suck at service.
Yes, I came over here trying to talk to you, and all you've done this entire time is been just yelling.
No, customers are always right.
Customers not always right.
Oh, you're a manager and you're saying customers are not.
No, the customers are not always right. That's just you know what? I don't even know who created that saying, but the customer ain't always right, man. Clearly, this is an example of why, from this woman being an evident case.
Oh my God, they're gonna eat this up. Keep talking, because I'm gonna report this to your manager, your GM.
Please have a great day.
And you know what's gonna happen? Your wife, your kids, everyone you know is gonna see this video.
And I have done nothing wrong.
You did everything wrong. If I'm complaining.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything wrong. Anyways, I'm tired of flipping.
Okay, honestly, I think this manager smelled the BS coming out of that woman and simply just did not care what she had to say and walked away from her. He handled it perfectly. The other thing that I might have done was, if she refused to leave, I would have just called the cops and have her trespass. Don't let your staff deal with her. Don't deal with her yourself. Just let the cops deal with it. Anyways, moving on to the last clip here. Watch this clip of a bunch of YNs terrorizing ordinary citizens having a walk in their own city.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's go. He won't go. Oh, what the f***? Oh my my God. Boy is wilding right now.
You know that they're asking for judgment, man. they're asking for judgment. You know, as the old saying goes, 99 days for the thief, 1 day for the owner. There's gonna be that one time they're gonna be riding a bicycle. However, you know, flaunting, flexing, you know, look at this trick. You know, trying to flip in. How do tempt the Lord? They tempted the Lord, and then that one faithful day where the spirits, their vessels get destroyed because of the fact that they were doing this foolishness, and then they're back to the spirit realm. Then they'll be in their right minds. But of course, again, as the saying goes, 99 days for the thief. So the Most High allows them to do their foolishness until of course the day that they're going to be judged, which all of them have their custom made day. This is another reason to fear Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, because you can be in your comfort, but it's when you're in your comfort that's when you can be easily judged as well. So again, that's why prayer for mercy, patience, mercy, protection, and saying Salakia, which means forgive me. You know, Kaya Khatayamya, which means Khatayam, I believe means sin. And then Khatayamya, which means my sins, because the ya at the end means I or me. And then yam is plural, so Khatayam, plural sins, and then Khatayamya. Anyway, so that's just some Hebrew, ancient Hebrew there. Yeah, prayer is needed, man. Prayer is needed. Because the time when the Most High, Yahweh Hashem is going to be sending mass judgments, we want to be cool and away from that. That's the point of praying and doing the suffering first. Let them enjoy themselves. But when that day, when that season, when the Most High increases the heat of spiritual judgment, the point is to be cool in that heat. So yeah, let's finish off.
Oh my fucking God! Oh my God!
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass.
Oh my God!
I'm pretty sure my audience, while driving, if they saw one of these kids on these bikes, they probably would have done this. See, it's disruptive behaviors like this, or
You see? That was a warning sign for that one.
I'm pretty sure my audience, while driving, if they saw one of these kids on these bikes, they probably would have done this.
That was a warning sign. And the one he was driving as well probably may have not even been, conscious of what they were doing. They're probably like thinking of something else. And the Most High just used them to just send a little warning to that Y in there. Why they should stop that foolishness.
See,
of course, if you want to do them type of tricks, go to the skate park or something, man. There's many places to do that stuff, not on the flipping road. Anyways, man, I'm gonna leave it there. Also, the guy's channel. If you want to search it up, Model Minority Reporter. Reporting on black fatigue. So yeah, Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, Barakatham.